everyone, my name is Gabby and today I'm going to be bringing you my August wrap up. So this has been a little bit of a busy month for me, so I only read 5 books, but I have a whole bunch of announcements and other really exciting things to bring you, so I'm excited to dive into that as well. So I'm just going to jump into my August wrap up. So my first read of the month was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is the first book in the Folk of the Air trilogy and it comes out in January of 2018, but I was able to read it early because a lovely stranger at BookCon gave me an ARC while I was waiting in line for an ARC drop, and I'm just so thankful that I got a chance to pick this book up and get to dive back into the world of Holly Black. I only read The Darkest Part of the Forest by her last summer and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite book in the world, so I was a little bit weary going into this, but I absolutely loved it and I'm really excited for all of you to get the chance to go and pick it up next year. The Cruel Prince follows our main character Jude, and her 2 siblings were kidnapped and taken away by the Fae to the Fae world about 10 years prior to when the story takes place, and Jude's parents were also murdered by the Fae, and so now she's lived among them, and now that she's sort of starting to reach of age, she wants to be more a part of the Fae community, but of course being a human, she's sort of frowned upon in society in the Fae. When she ends up getting an opportunity to be able to be a part of the Fae world in a way that she never would have thought possible, she starts to find out a lot of things about the people that she's grown up with and about this entire world that she's thought she knew, and sort of starts to explore that and sort of has to explore the consequences of the things that she's finding out. So this book is absolutely fantastic. There's so much intrigue, the characters are wonderful, and there's so much going on, and you never know what's going to happen next. The one thing that I would recommend for those of you who are going to pick this book up when it comes out next year is to be able to pick it up at a time where you're able to sit down and read it and really enjoy it and immerse yourself in the world, because there's lots of plot building and lots of plot dumping and world building within the course of this first book, and it's pretty much setting up the stakes that we're going to explore in the next 2 books in this trilogy. So it's really important that you're able to take everything in, because there's lots of genealogy and lots of different sort of Fae hierarchy and triangles and how people are related and connect, and it's definitely a lot to take in if you're reading the book at a casual pace. You're not really immersing yourself, and you're probably not going to have that good of an experience if you're not really fully immersed in the story. That's just a note that I want to put out there, because I wouldn't want anyone to read this book and then be let down by it just because of the experience that they had reading it and they weren't able to pick it up at a time when they were able to fully immerse themselves in the world. But I think besides that, this book is absolutely phenomenal and definitely worth a read. I'm so excited for all of you guys to get the chance to pick this book up next year, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it, because I had the best time reading it. And some fun things about this book that definitely make it worth a read: the movie rights were sold for it, so maybe we'll be seeing it on screen sometime soon, and the book is dedicated to Cassandra Clare, who is my favorite author of all time. So there's multiple things to love about this gem, and I hope that you all get a chance to pick it up when it comes out in January. So my next read of the month was City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, book 2 in the Mortal Instruments series. So I am having the best time continuing on with my TMI and TID series reread. So one thing that I loved about rereading City of Ashes is the fact that this book for the longest time was my least favorite in the Mortal Instruments series, just because I felt like it blended a lot into City of Glass, and I just really didn't have that many distinct memories with this book. But getting to reread it, there are so many scenes now that I loved that I completely entirely forgot about, and memories and things in this book that just really made me appreciate it a lot more. And you can definitely tell that Cassie's writing style has changed just from City of Bones to City of Ashes. You can tell that the stakes are risen, that the characters are going through a lot darker things. There's a lot more on their chest, and there's a lot more twists and turns. There's a lot more exploration of the shadow world, and the characters are more well developed, and the world is more well developed. It's just such a major improvement. And even looking now with the world that Cassie created with Lady Midnight and Lord of Shadows and the Dark Artifices, you can just see such a major improvement in her writing, and it's such a wonderful thing to get to experience, and to get to dive back into one of my favorite literary worlds is just such an amazing experience, and I'm so glad that I'm getting a chance to reread these books. So my third read of the month was The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. This book is the August Diversity Readers Book Club pick of the month. So we were supposed to have our live show, but it ended up getting canceled just because at that time I really wasn't feeling too well. I felt a little bit run down, and I didn't want to have a live show if I wasn't going to be able to put my all into it. When we reschedule, I will let you guys know and put all of those details out there so that you guys can join us, because I definitely want to get to discuss this book in all of its glory. So this book has definitely been the book of the year. I would be surprised if you guys haven't heard about it. This story follows 16-year-old Star Carter, and she is the witness to one of her sort of lifelong friends shooting by a police officer, and then being the eyewitness now, she's sort of thrust into the spotlight and has to sort of live in two different worlds. She has to live with her home life in what many people would describe as a ghetto, and then she has to deal with her school life where she's attending more of a upper class, preppy, white school. Having those two different lives, Star sort of has to sort of balance between the two and be able to sort of not only discover herself, but sort of discover more about what it is that really happened to her friend and speaking out about it and what that really means and what that's going to entail, and having to sort of go through that process of being able to accept herself and who she is, and being able to, you know, not be afraid to bring that into her school, and being able to not feel like she has to hide a part of herself, and also dealing, of course, with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything that comes along with that, and getting to see more of a direct point of view from what it's like to live through those types of things and experience those types of things, because a lot of times when we see or hear anything about the Black Lives Matter movement, it's all through the media and through the news, and it's not necessarily the best perspective to see it from, because of course a lot of news media outlets are biased in one way or another. So this story is incredibly important in getting to see that first person point of view into what the Black Lives Matter movement really entails and what it really means to people who are protesting and what it is that they're really going through, rather than just seeing it through a media standpoint. This story is incredibly important, incredibly eye-opening. I'm so honored that I got to read it, and then I got to meet Angie Thomas and hear her speak about the book, because that definitely made the experience so much more enlightening, and I definitely got a lot more out of it getting to hear her speak about the book and some of the things that she put in the story and some of the meanings and things behind the story that she wrote. And I'm so excited to get to discuss it all with you, and of course when we announce our new live show date, I will make sure to let all of you guys know so that you can join, because it's definitely going to be a very eye-opening conversation, a very enlightening conversation, and hopefully you guys can join along and get to experience that as well. My next read of the month was City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, the third book in the Mortal Instruments series. So City of Glass is one of my favorite books in this series other than City of Heavenly Fire, because the story wraps up so beautifully and it has such a nice ending and is such a perfect conclusion to the first half of this series. There's so many high-stake events that happen in this book, and so many twists and turns and so many answers that we get, and we finally just get some sort of clarity into a lot of the things that have been going on in the first two books in the Shadow World, and I just absolutely love getting to dive back into this world. Like I said before with City of Ashes, this is a series for me that is one of my absolute favorites. No matter how stressed I am or how busy I am, I can always dive back into this world and just feel at home, and it's the best feeling in the world, and I'm so excited that I'm finally rereading Cassie's books for the first time and getting to relive them, just because they mean so much to me, and getting to reread one of my favorite books was definitely a wonderful experience, and getting to now read it from a standpoint where I know what's going to happen, to get to notice some of the foreshadowing and get to read the books from a totally different point of view and a totally different eyesight is just a really amazing experience, and I'm so glad that I'm finally rereading these books. They're just phenomenal and they mean the world to me, and I'm so happy that I'm getting to be able to read some of my favorite books each month. So my final read of August was Because You Love to Hate Me, edited by Amory. So this is an anthology that takes 13 authors and 13 booktubers and pairs them together to each create a short story about a villain. So the booktuber provides the prompt, and then the author has to write the short story, and then a booktuber writes an essay that follows that short story. This book is absolutely phenomenal. I love how it completely entirely changed my perspective on villains and how it is that they come to be and what it means to be a villain and how sort of villains are created. It's such an interesting concept when you think about it, and all of the booktubers and the authors did an amazing job at creating their stories and developing each of their individual projects. So many short stories left me on the edge of my seat wanting more. They were formatted really interestingly. I loved getting to see all of the booktubers and their involvement in this book and the short stories that they sort of came up with and provided the prompt for, and their own essays that they wrote and how that contributed to the story. They were just so unique, and it was just such an amazing book to be a part of this community, to get to see some of my favorite booktubers represented in a published novel, and some of my favorite authors in this as well. It was just an amazing collaboration. I've been dying to get my hands on this since it came out, and pretty much since it was announced, so I'm so glad that I finally got to read it, and I'm so proud of everyone who made this thing come to life. It's such an honor to get to read it and to get to see the booktube community represented in a physical published novel. It was just such a great thing to read, and I'm absolutely blown away by everyone in the booktube community and all the authors that allowed this project to happen, and Amory for creating all of this. It's just such an amazing project, and I'm so so glad that I was able to get my hands on it because it was definitely a very amazing read. So that about wraps it up for the books that I read in August. But as for my month of August, I have lots of things to discuss. So to start off my month, I went to a Shawn Mendes and Charlie Puth concert. I got to see Shawn Mendes on tour for his Illuminate tour. One of my friends invited me and it was such a fun experience and such a great way to start off my month. Charlie Puth is one of my favorite singers. I've listened to everything that he has written. His songs are amazing and I'm so impressed by him. I really hadn't listened to that much of Shawn Mendes, so I put a playlist together based on what his set list was going to be for the tour, and I'm completely entirely impressed by some of the songs that he's written, and it definitely made me more interested in listening to some of his music. So that was just a really fun way to start off my August and to start to wrap up my summer. I also got to tour Columbia College in Chicago, which was really cool because I've definitely been looking at them for a little bit just because I feel like it's a college that's a really nice fit for me and has a lot to offer. So it's really cool to get to see the campus and to get to be in the city for a day. Since I am a junior in high school, I'm going to be applying to colleges soon, and I really wanted to tour Columbia because I've had my eyes on them for a while and it was a really great experience, so I'm really thankful that I got that opportunity. Then as for some fun news that I found out about this summer, I have been accepted to the Teen Reads board. If you guys do not know, there is this amazing website called teenreads.com, and they choose 50 teens from across the country in the United States to represent them on the Teen Reads board. And so pretty much what our responsibility is as being a part of the teen board is that publishing companies send us books each month and we have to write reviews for the Teen Reads website. We also write blog posts for them, answer monthly questions, and do a whole bunch of other really fun things. And we are going to be on the board for a year. So my time on the board will wrap up in August of 2018. And I'm so excited for this new journey and get to embark on something a little bit different because mostly when I do book reviews, it's through my BookTube channel and it's a much more casual format. Now I'm gonna have to be writing out actual book reviews, which I've never really done before, but I'm excited to get to do it and get to do something a little bit different. So from now on, if you want to find book reviews from me, I would definitely check out teenreads.com just because I feel like it's gonna be a lot to juggle between doing the Teen Reads board and then also having to do book reviews on my BookTube channel. So I'll try to do a little bit of both if I can, but I'm really excited to get to be able to be a part of the Teen Reads board. So I'll be leaving down below my contributor page once that's up so that you can always find my reviews there and find anything that it is that I post on the Teen Reads board. So I'm really excited about that and excited to start with some of my first book reviews later on in September. So as for some other fun book related news, I came home from school one day and I saw that I had gotten something in the mail from Penguin Random House and had absolutely no idea what it was because I hadn't signed up with Penguin Random House for them to send me anything. I had no idea how they found my address or how they found my channel to send me this, but they sent me a copy of This Book Isn't Safe by Colin Furzy. So Colin is a 5-time Guinness World Record holder and a YouTuber, and apparently he's known for his inventions and more scientific-like work, and so he's publishing his first book that comes out on September 12th, 2017, and I believe that it's about $19 if you want to pick it up for yourself. This book is described as the dangerous book for boys for the YouTube generation, so I have no idea how that fits me. I had no idea how this book got into my hands. It's not really for me. I don't think that I'm particularly interested in ever reading this, but it's really cool that Penguin Random House sent it to me, and I'm really thankful that they somehow found my channel and sent me this. It's definitely a very nice book. It's a nice hardcover and it has lots of pictures and things throughout it, but I think that I'm probably gonna end up giving this book to my cousins who are boys that are a little bit younger, so I think that like them and my aunt and uncle could probably do some of the fun things in this book and just get more of an appreciation out of it than I ever will. But if this book sounds interesting to you at all and you want to pick it up, it comes out on September 12th, so thank you so much Penguin Random House and Razorbill for thinking of me and sending me this wonderful book, and I figured that I might as well talk about it on my channel if they had the consideration to send it to me, even though I have no idea how it got into my hands. So that was just a really cool experience that happened this month. As for some other things, I've been really busy with my back to school schedule. I am in all AP and honors classes, so I have a lot of homework in the way that my schedule is set up. I'm not able to get it done in ways that I have in the past. Filming is going to be relatively difficult for me, so if you see that I'm absent on my channel a little bit, just expect that's going to be normal, at least for the end of the year, because on top of all of that, I am also in my school's fall play. We are doing Cyrano de Bergerac, which is pretty much an incestual love triangle set during the French Revolution. If you want to find out more, I'll leave like a link to the synopsis or like the Wikipedia page for Cyrano if you want to find out more about it if you haven't heard about it. But I'm going to be playing Lady Number 2, which is a very small role, but I've been in my 1X production for the past 2 years in high school, which is pretty much student directed skits that are about like like 20 minutes long, and it was really nice to do that, and I absolutely love one acts, but I'm excited to get to be in a main stage production, even though it's going to be lots of hours. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 4 to 6, and then every other Saturday from 9:30 to 1:30. So I'm going to be really, really busy pretty much until the end of the year, but I'm really excited about it, and if that means limiting my filming, I'm really, really sorry. I love BookTube, but something has to go, because on top of lots of homework, fall play, and teen reads, BookTube is going to be pushed back a little bit because I've already had several panic attacks since starting school, and I need to keep myself sane. So if that means not booktubing, I apologize. I love BookTube so much, and it breaks my heart to not film as much as I would like to, but I have to keep myself sane. So I will try to upload when I can, because of course if I'm not doing anything else and I can BookTube, I totally will, but just expect to not see a lot from me in the future, at least until I start to get my schedule in check and I start to have a little bit better control of everything that's going on. I will upload when I can, but I'm sorry that I may be absent for at least the next few months. And so one other thing that I want to talk about is some television shows that I've been watching. The first show that I want to talk about is Smash. This show aired on NBC about 5 years ago, and it's pretty much the behind the scenes of a creation of a Broadway musical about Marilyn Monroe. And then the second season of Smash, we get to see a sort of rival musical that comes in that's a little bit inventive, a little bit different, a little bit outside the box of what you typically see on Broadway. This show is phenomenal, and I feel like the only reason why it wasn't that successful and only got 2 seasons is just because really in order to appreciate this show, you have to be a Broadway person. I've seen this show twice. I rewatched it this year because I have so much more of an appreciation for Broadway now than I did when I first watched it when it was airing. There are so many cast members in the show that I absolutely love. Brian Darcy James is in the show, Pippa Sue is in the show, Lin-Manuel Miranda makes a guest appearance, Leslie Odom Jr., Jeremy Jordan, Angelica Houston, Deborah Messing, Christian Borle. The list could go on. I could be here for hours talking about all the phenomenal people that are in this show, but there's so many great Broadway people, and if you are a Broadway person, this show is definitely for you. Please watch it because it's amazing and angsty and drama-filled, which is exactly what you would expect from a show about Broadway, and I just love it to pieces. And I'm so bitter that it got canceled after 2 seasons, but I think that after the way that the show wrapped up, it was just nicely fit, and I feel like 2 seasons was a good length for this show because I got to explore a lot of interesting plot lines, and I definitely felt satisfied by the end of it. Reason why I'm bringing up Smash is because there was an actor on that show that I've fallen in love with, that I'm just amazed by, and his name is Andy Mientus. I don't know if you know who he is. He plays Kyle on Smash, and Kyle is adorable and precious, and he was wronged on this show, and that's like the one thing that I have against Smash is that they wronged Kyle, and I'm still bitter about it. Close to 5 years later, I'm sorry. I will never forgive the writers for what they did to Kyle, and I'm just bitter about it. But Andy Mientus, wonderful gem of a human being. You may know him from playing Hartley Rathaway on The Flash. You may know him from Jackson on Chasing Life. You also may know him from some of the things that he's did on Broadway. He's done Spring Awakening 3 times. He's done Les Mis. He's done Wicked. He's been all over the place. He wrote a new musical called Burn All Night, which is currently showing in Boston, I believe, in Massachusetts, somewhere in the state. He also is writing a YA novel. I don't know if you guys know about that. That's the reason why I wanted to discuss this, because Andy Mientus, who is like my dream human because he, one, is an actor and a singer, and he has connections to the Broadway world, and he's writing a YA novel. Like, what much more could you ask for? But I have no idea what it's about. He started writing it, I believe, in February, and the minute that I found out about it, I'm like, the minute that that book comes out, I will not shut up about it on my channel. So I wanted to talk about that to prepare all of you because I'm very excited about that amazing, amazing book, whatever it is that it comes out. But Andy Mientus, check him out on YouTube. Like, just search his name and watch some of his like covers or songs and things that he's sang because they're all amazing. He covered Wildflowers by Dolly Parton a few years ago, and that song is just chilling, and I can't even describe it. It's one of my favorite songs at the moment. I'm just so just amazed by him and all of his talent. And I also found out this month, kind of sticking with like the whole Broadway thing, and I mentioned Wicked, I'm gonna be seeing Wicked in Chicago in January. I got my tickets this month, and I'm so excited because I've never seen Wicked before, and the minute that Wicked came back to Chicago, I told my mother I would would be getting tickets. I got tickets. I'm so excited to see this show. I was reading through a synopsis of what the show was about, and it broke my heart because I really knew nothing about Wicked at all, because when I haven't seen something or haven't been cultured at all, I just avoid it entirely. I get to see Wicked in January. I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna be in the fall play. I'm really busy. I have a lot of things going on, and I think that I'm probably gonna die. Wouldn't surprise me because there's a lot on my plate at the moment, but I'm excited. It's been a crazy month. So that about ends it for my August wrap up. If you guys want to talk about any fun and exciting things that you've did this month, a great book that you read, let me know. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!
Wildflowers don't care where they grow.